Hello and welcome, the Construction Sportcast. Why do I keep tripping up on
That's like about 10 in a row now.
Yeah.
He's messed up the intro.
I can't even say our own podcast.
You're like Liverpool,
name.
aren't you? Just fail.
Christmas bottle at Christmas. Arsenal. Hello and welcome to the Construction Sport Podcast. Correctly put. Welcome, Chris Rodgers. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, brother. How are you?
Very well. Health and safety advisor, manager, senior director. What are we going with now? Because there's a new title in the house.
There's a new title in the house. Yeah, just confirmed today that I've got I'm moving jobs.
Yeah.
Going to be the head of operational HSE for VVB.
Head of operational. Superb. Happy days. VVB were one of the first companies to sponsor our first ever event, Construction Sport.
I love that.
Crossrail. I was with him, as I mentioned, my father and my uncle-in-law was a big part of the original board. And they done all the M&E when I was with them from Shenfield to Stratford. And then I think they had a lot of the Crossrail tunnelling stuff on separate parts of the project, but I wasn't part of that. That didn't matter really. I just put in a couple of cable trays and trough routes and then claim I built the whole of Crossrail now.
That's funny.
Big company though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're good. So I met them. I was actually working for Balfour Beatty, and I was on a job interview with them for an advisor role when I was quite new into construction. And during the interview process, the guy that was interviewing me, it turned out we were from the same regiment in the army at different eras.
Yeah.
And we just became friends. I didn't take the job. And we just became friends after that. And then he's a passionate bloke as well.
Yeah.
And he created a charity event, 50 mountains in 5 days.
Oh, wow.
So across the UK. And I can't remember if it was 2022 or 2023. I think it's 2022.
It's tough just finding 50 mountains in the UK.
Yeah, well, mate, honestly, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Was it?
And to be fair, we talk about the 500 miles thing, but incomparable, like no sleep, wake up, 10 mountains, travel on a minibus, 2 hours sleep, if that, wake up, 10 mountains. Like
Sleep's a killer, innit?
It was horrendous, mate. It was horrendous. And but that was all for 3 charities, one which was for military and construction, and one for rugby against
military
cancer.
and construction.
Building heroes.
Cool.
Rugby against cancer, and
fair play.
there was a charity to do with autism because Chris's son's non-verbal autistic. COVID cut the funding, and he was like, I need to do something about this. And to be fair, we raised like 30 grand pretty much, and they built a whole new area for him.
Amazing.
It was really good. It was horrendous.
Good when you see the money go to work, can it really, when you can?
Yeah, exactly. But VVB are a good company. I've been there throughout the years, like, because Chris is my friend now. If I'm ever in London, I've got time, I'll pop in.
Yeah.
He's
fair play. I was actually on the phone to him, like I said to you 3 days ago.
Yeah.
The team down at HS2. So we could be seeing you again very soon.
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah.
And I need to get there, as I mentioned, because there's a good chicken wrap place up the top of the road.
Yeah, I need to get to that chicken place.
Yeah, I lived on it for a long, long time. But yeah, I'm now an athlete, so I obviously don't eat.
How's the running going?
It's seized.
Like your back.
Like my back has. Running's going good, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm ready to get back to it. I've had this before. When you get back into things, don't you? Then you find out these. I tell you what's done it. I've done 100 kilometre walk.
Yeah,
kind
wow.
of signed the back off a little bit. The back was fine, and then 2-3 days after that, I felt absolutely spot on. Come down with a little bit of cold. And then just had an annoying cough, what's slightly still there, but everything else is gone. It's not COVID, I'm all clear. I think. And then just coughing, and I've literally just pulled me back. Literally, I went yesterday, it's right in the middle, around the discs, it's just literally a little bit. So, bit achy. So then I've got to get through this one, get this back pain out of the way, and then on the 4th and 5th, we're doing the military trek. So I'll be ready for that, and when I come back, then I hit it. Ben Banahan has given me a schedule. I've got my little program. It looks nothing like his schedule.
I'd hate to see a schedule, to be fair.
Yeah, so I will be out jogging again from them. But yeah, he's shown it to me to do the shorter jog, start of the week, long one at the end of the week, and just doing 2 a week like that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I want to get into it, get the fitness up, and then crack into it. But are you still running, more importantly?
Yeah, I did a 10K this morning before coming down here.
Happy days. Round Chelmsford then?
Yeah.
And down neck of the woods?
Yeah.
You survived?
Since I finished the event, I'm like, I need to keep the mileage up.
Yeah.
I have to keep the mileage up. Otherwise, I eat like an absolute horse, mate.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I went to Popeyes last night and I nailed 18 chicken wings, a burger, large fries.
Yeah.
Like, I just eat like a horse. So if I don't run, I'm just going to get massive.
Yeah.
It's what it
That's
is.
the reason why I run.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. Eat like a horse.
I was speaking to someone the other day, actually, and it probably isn't the right way to put it on the podcast, but I'm going to put it on there anyway. And this person's a very professional person in the world. May have been on the podcast before. I won't drop him in it. But he went, I just admire these really, really big people. There's a lot of effort goes into being and retaining that. And I'm retaining myself. That's why I'm trying to hold off, because I love food.
Yeah.
It's a passion, isn't it? If someone said holiday booked, you're like, yeah, what? Food, straight away, isn't
I
it?
kind of got that when we did the 10K and you ordered like 400 chicken
There was a few wings, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a few wings.
I had them for a few more days after that as well.
Yeah, that was heaven for me, mate.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Before we were pretty much kicked out of Brewdog.
Yeah, yeah. Let's not talk about that.
They're shutting a few down now.
Yeah, well, thank God. Shame on you, Brewdog.
Shame on you.
Yeah,
for literally, wearing oranges. There's a few pubs around HS2 in North London like that. You weren't allowed to wear any oranges or building related clothing in the pubs and stuff. You bring the tone down. Lower end of society, aren't we?
Working class isn't class, is it?
No, exactly. That's good though. We are class in one way. But where is home for you? Because obviously,
I live in Weston-super-Mare.
Weston-super-Mare.
Yeah, it's just near Bristol.
Yeah, that is a trek away, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Good part of the world.
I used to live in Dover. Well, I'm from Northern Ireland originally as a kid.
Oh yeah.
And then I moved across.
Yeah.
Basically, I thought I was talking to my family there. Wow.
How's your man? Beanhead all down, whatever, mate.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, then I moved to Dover when I was like 9, 10, I think it was. I can't remember. But and then went straight to school in Dover in Kent.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Back to Northern Ireland.
On the White Cliffs.
Yeah.
I went down to the what's the castle called down there?
Dover Castle.
Not Dover Castle. It's across from that, an old prison system as well, real old. Citadel. The Citadel? Citadel?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's on a massive hill. Yeah, I went down there. Shane Minogue took us down there because the guy was trying to develop it and redevelop this whole part of the area and make it real smarter than it is.
Okay.
But you're always going to be closest to Calais, aren't you? I think.
Yeah.
So you're never going to be able to get the lorry industrial side to it, let alone all the other problems that come with it.
It's just a gateway. No one wants to live in a gateway.
Unless you reposition UK and then just twist it a little bit. Actually, don't do that because we'll move us closer.
Yeah.
We'll keep it exactly where it is for the time being. But, so you went from there to Dover and then to Weston-super-Mare.
Well, back to Northern Ireland. So my dad's from Northern Ireland, my mum's from Dover.
Gotcha.
I went back to Northern Ireland and then I joined the army from there and then lived in Colchester for 10 years.
Oh, it's Colchester as well?
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah.
It's down the road.
Just down the road, yeah.
Who was you with? Parachute Regiment down there?
7 Parachute, yeah.
Oh, was you? So
artillery attached to the parachute.
This is going to be at the podcast. We get delving deeper to you. We're forever bumping into each other and doing bits together. But in Paris, did you do the Paris 10?
I've never done the Paris 10, mate. No.
Yeah. I gave it a bash a few years ago.
Did you?
It opened to the public.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 110 was the qualifying. No, was it 110 qualifying time or 57? No, it might be 150. 1 hour 50 the qualifying time. 10 mile with your Bergen boots and thing.
What, and you did it with your Bergen and boots and that?
Yeah, done it in the full whacker. Yeah, because my dad was Royal Green Jackets, just territorial. And he always had I grew up with just him being obsessed with the military. He loves military history. And I grew up with it. It felt like Adolf Hitler was in my lounge every day I went downstairs. Literally, it's another fucking war movie going on. And he's got we've got a very strong tie with Austria at the moment as well. So we do like it over there, but we're not Third Reich.
Yeah.
I can assure you the way this country's going might be a bit away, but so he said about it, and a friend of mine I played rugby with was in the parachute regiment, and he was doing it as well, and I went and done it. I hadn't not long gone for a bit of surgery in my stomach and that, and I used it as a bit of an initiative to get fit for. It was really good. I'm not sure if they've stopped it now or put it on hold. I think there was a few, when they did it the public, I think there was a few people struggle. So one of it was in the heat as well in summer. I think there might have been a few casualties along the way. I know a few got the timings changed of the year, and then I'm not sure if a couple of them got knocked on the head because they've done it.
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah,
worth looking at.
Really good. And they set the big cannon off, or one of the artillery shells off right at the start to get you going. Yeah. That's quite good. And I'd be pacing, I'm doing really well here, and then they'll be like, I'd set off at the start, I'm going good, and then just like 50 Gurkhas would run past me, like absolute sprinting faster than I can with backpacks, like in general, and they've got backpacks on.
Yeah, mate, I've been through some serious fitness events where a Gurkha's, you look left to you and there's a Gurkha not even sweating, mate, and I'm like near death.
Yeah.
It's just they do
Trojans, isn't
they do milling, which is like you basically punch yourself, punch each other for a minute, and you're not allowed to block.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like it's a show of controlled aggression. So like when they say stop, you punch, and they say stop, you stop. It's to show that you can be aggressive, but you can control it. And
it's one way to find out.
Gurkhas, mate, you look at a Gurkha that's small, skinny, you think, mate, they are hard as nails, mate.
Yeah.
They will batter you.
Yeah.
They'll throw 100 punches to your one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And the Fijians ain't much different either, are they?
Mate, if any,
They're
never fight
bigger with it.
Fijians, mate.
I've run into a couple at rugby before, and I've not run into them since. But that way.
Yeah. I've had a few, we used to do rugby in the army with like every year you do officers versus seniors and stuff, and I'm always the gobby kid. I've always been the gobby kid, and I said I'd play one year, and I got on the ball, and when I got the rugby ball, I've never really played rugby. I looked up, and there was probably about like 5 or 6 Fijians, like with blood in their eyes, like.
The British Army rugby team is pretty much Fiji, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Rocco Daguni as well. He's played his whole rugby premiership career on loan from the army to Bath Rugby Club.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had a few in a regiment that like they're soldiers. They'd come in once a year to do the basic army tests, and then they'd go back to their club.
Yeah.
So they get paid a full-time wage from the army, get paid a rugby wage as well. They do all right.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't get promoted through it. So they come back in the army. Like when they retire from rugby, they come back into the army, and they're the same as where they was. But that's the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't drink with the Fijians and don't fight with them either.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Superb saying that. Yeah, Manu Tuolangi's just re-signed his contract in France. I see this morning talking of rugby and the Fijian world. How long was you in the army for?
10 years.
10 years. And what age did you go in there? Young whippersnapper?
I was just before my 18th birthday.
Was it?
I was in training at my 18th birthday,
Yeah. Good stuff. Tour?
I went to Afghan, yeah.
Did you? Yeah. We spoke to Ross, didn't you? Ross Noakes before, our man.
Yeah. Good guy, mate. Obviously, you did the cycling event. That's where I met him.
Yeah.
And I added him on LinkedIn. I like his post, man. He's good.
Yeah, it's decent. So you done one tour over there? Was it 6 months?
Yeah, 7 months. Yeah, about 7 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Tough time? Not pushing too much.
Not really. Nah, not really. To be fair, mate. I love being around like teams and people, and like it's the reason why I'm leaving the job I'm in now. Like I'm just on my own all the time, and I love people, man. I love talking to new people, meeting new people, and I love so that environment. Afghan is probably one of the best times I've ever had in my life. Yeah, and that is probably horrendous to say, right?
Yeah. It just shows the show, doesn't it?
Like I'm 35, and I was in Afghan on Christmas Day, right? And that was the best Christmas I've ever had in my life.
Was it?
Yeah, man. Amazing.
What made it so good?
Just being around everyone. Like, you're all equals. You're all equals. There's no, like, you've got this, I've got this. Like, I hate Christmas now. Like, I don't like Christmas at all.
Do you not? Yeah.
Nah, I just don't like what it's become. But it was, it's just been, everyone's in the same position. You're just, just with your pals, with your mates, and have a laugh. Yeah, a bit of crack, bit of food.
Everyone dropped their guard for the day, sort of thing.
No, you still have to do that. Well, Taliban don't support that. Don't celebrate Christmas, mate.
Surely I'll put the tools down for a day.
Not at all, mate. Not at all. But it was good. It's a good experience.
Silly celebrities out there. Old Cheryl Cole come out, all that kind of stuff. No, the glory.
I was in the middle of nowhere, mate. So there'll be no celebrities coming to where I was.
Ross Noakes. He doesn't tell us too many stories and that from what he goes in amongst, but he come out with one story after a few beers once and about they got pinned down in a small camp elsewhere, and they were in there for ages, and they had small rations and they were living off just just porridge or something, wasn't it? Al, I think Ross said they lived off. It was something that just said just porridge the whole time, and they were fucking. And then they were like, the only way we can get rations into you is to drop it. And they were trying to drop it, and when they were dropping stuff, the Taliban were shooting at it, and they were just like losing their shit. And they're like, "Get off our fucking food!" And they one box come in, and it was full of Haribo. The one that actually landed first, and they called it Maralabo. In the end, they got rid of it. No, but he said the glory on all of them's face just having this Haribo just land. But you can imagine the buzz it.
You miss the food, mate, when you're in like situations like that. You miss food back home, like how easy everything is now. Like we could sit there and go and just eat. We could get anything. We could get anything right now.
It's not healthy for us, is it? Being having things on a plate, isn't it? It's been given. Yeah.
So, me and my partner in a couple of years' time, we're going to move house again. We're looking to move house in a couple of years' time. Mate, if whatever house I'm viewing, I'm going and I'm checking on Just Eat. What have we got?
We don't have Just Eat where I live.
Do you not?
No. We haven't got lampposts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's proper back to old school. We're only 10 minutes from here. We're at High Street and they've got it. But yeah.
You've got nothing?
The kebab shop even puts a £5 on the bill to deliver a kebab, not the local one. Yeah, we looked at it. These kebabs are a bit more expensive. So obviously they stick an extra £5 on for delivery charge.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, probably right if they're not
the size of what they've got to bring to me. Yeah. Here's a low loader turning up full of the old elephant's leg. Here you go, Bosch. But yeah, we're trying to keep a little bit of that, of escaping it. But the thought of we've been there a few times when we were in London doing the Peloton challenge, and it's just like, the boys get Just Eat Up or Deliveroo or whatever. I can't say the U word because my dad's a London cab driver.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Frowned upon.
Yeah.
He'd never forgive me. And then, when I look at that into all the choices, it's unbelievable. One thing I can't get my head around is how people will have families all sit and have dinner together, but all the different takeaways because they can.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, I think that's too much.
Well, you think the delivery charge on each one, right?
Yeah.
You said there's $5 on each one. That's like an extra 20 quid.
Yeah. Yeah.
My missus is tight. She'd never let that happen.
So, hey, you was 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years, man.
And then, did you plan was you qualified to your coming into Civvy Street? Did you line it up of kind of what you wanted to do, or
not at all? I got
how was the?
I had a bit of a
that?
tough time in the army with like injuries and stuff. So I've had two sort of major surgeries on my legs, and I got medical discharge. So it was pretty of a bit of a surprise. Like over the top years, I just knew that my body probably weren't built for the fitness that we were doing. Like I went through a few surgeries and then they didn't really work, to be honest. And then I got told, I'm sort of no longer fit for service, sort of thing, and I won't be fit for service. So it was like, right, you got to. And the army were class, mate. They were like, process if you get medical discharge, you get 6 months off, paid. Go and find yourself another job. Like you can get. There's money for training and all that sort of stuff. Great, but my regiment, like, I don't know whether it's just me or whatever, but I gained quite a bit of respect from the people that I work with and for and stuff. So the CEO was like, look, mate, here's a year. Yeah. Like, I had a year full pay. So it was really good. So it really helped me. I did a little bit of truck driving in that time just to earn some money and stuff.
So you get that ticket when you're in there then? The old HGV? Yeah, a few people
driving an instructor, mate. I was.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, mate. My patience is thin as well. Yeah. And I've had a few hairy situations where someone's not listening to me and I'm like, I'm so regimented. Like, I'm not actually, when I say struggling, like I love parenting, right? My kid's everything to me. But my kid's just like turning 2 and she's turned into a right prick. Like, and I'm like, if I say no, like, I'll give you a reason why, don't get me wrong. But
doesn't phase him.
Doesn't phase him. She'll look at me and be like, yeah, sound mate. And then carry on. I've
got a 4-year-old daughter, and we're just kind of getting, not through that, but on to, I think, coming into another stage.
2 years.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it's hell, mate. But yeah. And there'll be 2 minutes of the week where they're all lovely and cuddly. You go, it's all worth it.
Yeah,
and the next thing, they're like, yeah, she does still have her paddies, put it that way. But yeah, different to the boy, that's for sure. He's, the lad's 8 years old. Yeah, 7, sorry. And the girl's 4. But they'll do as they want.
Yeah.
There's what we can do about it.
I seen some like quote or something the other day. Said, I don't know why everyone complains about parenting. It's absolutely easy. All you got to do is do absolutely everything the kid tells you to do when they tell you to do it and how and why.
Yeah, so true, isn't it? It's so true. Yeah. The truck driving. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I did a bit of truck driving. Bit of a
What was you driving? What were you delivering?
Oh, mate, first. So I absolutely blagged it.
Kebabs, the little pearly village outside Malta.
Yeah, big big class 1 truck kebab. Here you go, Steve. Have you got a forklift? The first day in the job with truck driving, I absolutely blagged it. I'd never actually driven like an Arctic before. So you get 2 different types of class 1. You get like the wagon drag, which is a rigid with a trailer. So it's the trailer's halfway. Yep. And then you get the Arctic, which is the cabin and the whole massive trailer. Yeah, I'd never driven one of them before. And I blagged it to an agency and said I had. Which was probably wrong because I work in health and safety now. So don't do them, kids. I turned up day 1 in Clacton. And they were like, can you drive to Leicester? I was like, yeah, sound. Yeah, turned up. Most difficult.
I reckon everyone in Clacton could drive a lorry.
Definitely, mate. Yeah, definitely. So anyway, drove to Leicester. And on the way back down, they rung me. They were like, do you fancy driving to Holland? I was like, yeah, what? You could pay me. Yeah. So I drove to Holland that night and went to the, I can't remember, is it Felixstowe?
Felixstowe, down that way,
down to Hook to Holland. Drove to Holland, mate. I'd never driven the truck in my life. And I got to this bridge and the truck was way too big for this bridge, mate. And I was on the phone to them. They were like, yeah, just let the air down. I was like, I can't tell them I don't know how to do that, mate. That's probably the basics.
Google.
So I'm parked in the middle of this road, in this busy A road in Holland. I'm walking around the truck, trying to know how to let the air down so the truck gets down. I was, yes. Anyway, did a bit of truck driving, and then while I was doing my NEBOSH, and then I was on LinkedIn. Never had LinkedIn before, and I messaged probably about 100 people. I'm a just come out of the army,
Yeah.
get him an e-bosh. Like, can you give me just some work experience? I had a year off. And Balfour Beatty replied. Yeah, like I worked for 2 months for free in Balfour Beatty just to get. It was like, oh look, we'll help someone from the army out. You get a bit of experience and then you clear off and then we're all good.
Yeah.
But I must have done it right them 2 months.
Placement.
And they were like, look, you've turned it into a role now. Like,
Yeah.
can you stay? So I stayed.
Where was you based with them?
In Folkestone in Kent.
Yeah.
And then I was there for a year, and then the manager there, who's a good friend of mine now. My manager, he was like a hot prospect in Balfour's and still is, to be fair.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I'm moving down to Southwest.
Yeah.
He was like, do you want to come? I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I followed him basically for about 5 years, and around different roles. Every time he got promoted, he took me with him and stuff. It was really good. But yeah, and then I stayed in the Southwest, met my missus, and then I've stayed there ever since, sort of thing.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Lots of cider down there.
I hate cider, mate.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe everyone drinks cider, mate.
Yeah. My father and I went down there for a bit of work, and he said we're in the pub, and it was just tap after tap of just ciders. Can you believe it? Yeah. Weston-super-Mare. What festival did that have down there?
I don't know, mate. It's got a lot of druggies though.
Has it? There was a big like T4 on the beach or something like that back in the day. Have a little look how
they do the motorbike festival thing. Like they do motocross racing on the beach on the seafront.
Do they? Yeah.
Every year they do quite a lot.
It's
of
quite a
stuff
bit
like
like
that.
arcades and stuff down there, is it?
Yeah,
Big,
it's the longest.
Like
It's got the longest tide in the world, so the beach is huge.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
It's absolutely huge. I mean, I wouldn't be travelling from Malden to Weston-super-Mare for the kids, mate. So don't start getting that idea in your head. But
No. Yeah, so I envisage it being a bit like a Southend vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that. I'd say that. There's a little bit more going on in the Southend, I think.
Is there?
Yeah.
Summerfest at the beach.
Summerfest at the beach. Yeah, there's something down there back in the day.
Glow Light Festival.
No, Glow Light. No, it wasn't that ones.
Groove Village Festival.
No.
That's all I'm seeing here.
No. Okay, there you go. Maybe I'm lying.
Should you look at the yellow pages?
Yes. The yellow pages is coming back. Construction's very own. The orange pages.
The orange pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heard it here first.
Yeah. It should be launched by when this goes out, actually, the 1st of December. I think we're going to get a directory out.
Mm.
Yeah, we looked at it the other day. Actually. I said to the boys, everybody pays so much money to have their little advertisement in these local newspapers and magazines just for their name to be there. So why don't we just include that in with our membership? So when people do, we create our own directory of companies that are pushing that a little bit further to support us. So
Yeah. I like
on
that.
comes the orange pages.
I've liked your at recent times the 100 Club and the post you put on LinkedIn. I love that.
Yeah.
It does show it's like, you might see it as like just a post from LinkedIn or like a picture of a company's badge or whatever, but it does signify that people want to do more, and I like that. I like that.
It's our LinkedIn viewing on the construction support page alone has shot up massively since we've done that. I'll show you the chart after this.
Really?
Yeah, literally the traction we've got. Just from those little posts on there each day.
Yeah.
So he said that now every company that's part of us will get a promotion every day. There'll be another company in some way, and then once those ones come around, we've got other stuff for them as well. But we're like, let's just create our page just highlighting all these companies because every day it just links to so many more. So it costs us nothing. You know what I mean? It's just you know what I mean? It's easy win. However, I tried to boost the other day. We was going to look at the boosts we can do on LinkedIn, and you've got to verify your account, and I can't even do that. It's so impossible. We try and do it. I'm not sure if
really?
Yeah, it's just you got to verify this, verify that. I'm like, how? It doesn't even work. So
What does the verify even do? I think mine's verified actually.
Yeah, Al said he verified his without paying, but now I'm not paying them. But now that verify, you have to scan your passport. So you scan,
Digital ID.
Yeah. It's literally that. But I do know one thing is it protects your account a bit more. So if anything happens, you've got a little less chance of losing it all.
Oh, right, okay.
I've only had my account hacked twice. And
Wow.
they're both on the way. Both, and this is the irony, both were on the same day as I was going away on a stag do. Literally got on the plane. One I landed, one was in Germany and the other was in Cheltenham, in Gloucester, of all places. We went to watch rugby. And sat on the first day each time, got hacked. I think it was something to do with my missus saying, let's ruin his account to make sure this ruins his day and he doesn't get too pissed out. Yeah, one of them was someone sent over to me saying, Steve, random person, hi mate, hope you're well. Here's the drawings, I promise you, if you could have a look and get a price over to us ASAP. And I thought, I don't recognise the people, but I'll have a look at the job anyway. And so click on it, and that was a
Oh, the LinkedIn.
They got on LinkedIn. They got you. And it done me, and then it went to pretty much 50, 60% of my network all received that email straight after I'd done it. And it just, and I was like, what's going on here? And I clicked on something, I logged in, and it just literally showed 0. Everything
Was that
disappeared.
LinkedIn?
Yeah, everything had vanished. And I was like, what the smokes? Reported it, went through a process. The end, it works for me. I was like, can you take over this for a bit? Because I'm a little bit busy in this beer house in the middle of Munich. And no, where was I on that one? It was Munich, I think. Yeah, it was. No, Hamburg. And not that it makes any difference. It makes any difference to the story, but yeah. So, and then within 24, 48 hours, it was back up again. But just thinking, you don't realise how much we depend on it.
At least you got it back. You see so many people having to create new accounts now, didn't you? For the back of it, which is bad.
So it's kind of showed me like how much we depend on just the likes of a LinkedIn fucking app. You know what I mean? It's a bit worrying, really. Like everything I've done with construction support has been built through LinkedIn, and then to have it wiped out, it's just like, oh shit, what do I do now? To get the yellow pages out.
I do find that LinkedIn is. I mean, maybe it's just my network. To be fair, and I'll say that's my network. LinkedIn is full of. I don't think there's enough ground workers on people like that on LinkedIn.
People on the ground.
Yeah,
the blue collar stuff.
Yeah.
There's such a emphasis on you've got to come across very professional. I think people feel like that, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm like, you really don't. Well, Ben actually just showed there. Ben King, the guy talking. I suppose he put a video out 2 weeks ago, his first one. And he's like, how do you get by with it, Steve? He said, because some person's just made a little comment and my back's gone up with it. And I'm like, you just have to look past that, ignore it, and just go with it. I had one yesterday, actually. We put one of the Lost City signs up, and there was one at Piccadilly Circus, and a guy shared it on, and someone else commented on it. What those helmets on the floor for? Was that for the guys who've gone down the calf? And I was like, nah, actually, what the helmets? I said, well, the helmets, we call them hard hats in industry, just to let you know. They're actually representing the people we've lost. I said, but if you want to carry on making helmet-like comments, please do carry on. And then he messaged back something else. And then I just messaged back saying, you've got to love a faceless profile. There's no one there. So, you know what I mean? Just like people just trying to antagonise. Don't take the bait. But
that's the bad thing about the internet, though, with these days, is that we've built this culture of, confrontation can only come, or like a challenging someone can only come online. You can't, and we've gone away from people having to find confidence to do it face to face. Yeah. And I find it hard. I bite, mate, to be fair. I find it hard not to, especially when you see them post if you use that example, what that stands for is incredible, right? And the work that got put in at that time and how big it went and all that sort of stuff. And then someone in their right mind has sat there and gone, oh, I'm going to say this. Yeah. And I'm like, if he was stood in a room with all of you who made it happen, he wouldn't say it. And that's what bugs me. Yeah. And that's what bugs me.
Yeah, exactly that. And I've only got a couple of people who blocked me on there. There's 3 people.
Mark Reynolds?
No, he's not actually. Yeah.
Has he got LinkedIn? Because I tried tagging him on my post.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I didn't know that.
You must have been blocked.
Pre-blocked. That's my question.
He's definitely got on there because I've tagged him a few times.
Oh, right, okay.
He never replies back. And then, a couple of people. Yeah, I'll say off camera. I won't belittle them. But there's 3 people who've blocked me, and it's annoying really because one of them actually probably blocked me because we kept just having massive debates and discussions about disagreeing with each other in a certain way or this and that. And
get them on the pod, mate. It'd be a good one, that.
Yeah. And this is interesting, actually. The people like that to get on the pod to have it out. But then it's like, when there's a funny one with it, really. It's like these people, you just genuinely don't like them. You know what I mean? I think from my side.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just like, I always come across how is this going to work? Yeah, well, there's a few people in that bubble really. We've been like, do we bring him on to do it, or I'd rather go on someone else's pod to have it out with them on that, or I don't know. We'll cross that bridge one day.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. But that's the thing, the art of debate, isn't it? Why can't we just have these disagreements? And there's a lot of people out there doing very, very good stuff.
It's like old school, though. Like back in the day, men used to just have a fight. Yeah. And then at the end of a fight, you shake each other's hand, and most people could be mates after that.
The biggest circle of mates I've got in the groundwork world, we've all clashed at the start, massively. But then you realise you all stand up for the same things.
Exactly that, yeah. And it's the same for a debate. You have a good old debate. Yeah. Walk away and you think, do you know what? Whether you agree with their opinion or not, their passion in their opinion, you gain respect for it.
Yeah. 100%.
Because first of all, they've got the courage to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's what I've loved, and that's why people not found me controversial in the ideas, but I'm like, if you look at I'm only saying stuff based on facts, and I'm actually saying that I'm open to the discussion here or get people's views. I want other people. I've had a few. One person said last year, I put something out, and this guy come at me was like, "This is actually incorrect because this, and this," and I found it hilarious. I got it wrong, and I was like, so I went, "Oh, please do educate me." And then he spent the next day or half writing articles online about how my thing was wrong in the comments, and he just taught me everything. I was like, thank you very much. I hugely appreciate. You've just done 4 years at university to learn that, and you just told me everything in 2 minutes for free. So yeah, I'm more than keen. I'm open to a little bit of education.
Mate, we're not none of us have finished articles, and they're not finished articles either. And we're all on a journey, and I think this is we talk about like mental health as an individual, but also as an industry. Like we're all scared of, not say scared. We're all on a journey to be better people.
Yeah.
Because no one's perfect.
Yeah.
And
you'll see it. And I think you probably, with the mental health summit we went to, didn't really get construction talking one. And that was the thing with it. It was like, everybody wants the best, and I can see it. And nobody wants to see more suicides in construction at all, do we? That's the thing. No. It's just that strange side of, well, why don't we actually all come together? Why are we disagreeing on certain ways? But as we saw at that event, what was your take on the whole event? Okay, construction. Was it the first one you've been to?
Yeah, mate. To be fair, you have opened my eyes to the industry. To be fair, since I connected with you on LinkedIn, and before I started my journey, and obviously went on my journey this year. Yeah. And I've been.
We'll come on to that. It's a good journey.
Loads of people have been like connecting with me, and I would connect with people from either people who you would talk about, or people would be in the pod. So. Yeah, you've really opened my journey in terms of connections wise into this space. Yeah, which I think also is quite worrying because I was in construction before knowing you for 7 years. Yeah, and I didn't know, the stats. The stats are big, right? And the stats they speak for themselves. Yeah, but I didn't know how many people were trying to make a difference. Yeah, I just felt like there's a couple of people in silos, and then that's it. And that's generally what I felt like until. Like I connected with yourself and getting to the event, I loved being in a room full of passionate people, right? And we've all got our own journey, whether people have gone through mental health or not, or whether people have suffered in terms of their families or friends, whether people just generally like want to do better or want to be better. And that's why I'm quite critical of the performance or the Construction Leadership Council, because where they're seen as a lead of our industry, and I hate to talk bad about people or stuff like that, because it's not. I think we're all trying to do our best, and all companies with all their measures to mental health, they've all got great intentions. And when all of these things that we create, mental health first aiders, the posters, the campaigns, they've all got the best intentions. So I can't talk bad about them, but I think if there's an issue within the industry, I think the minimum we would expect would be for not necessarily just the leader of the Construction Leadership Council, which is seen as the top end of what we do within our industry. The minimum we can do is expect them to be there for the whole event. Yeah. Right. The minimum. That's the minimum, right? And I get and I understand that there's a few people in the room, especially yourself, where he was probably coming to expect a challenge from you, right? And to be fair, people deal with confrontation, and I don't know whether that was a factor or not, why he didn't turn up before and why he left straight away. But I think that I'm just really disappointed in the response specifically to the question I put across and the question that you put across of how many is it going to take? How many people is it going to take to die before we do something? And
his words were, wasn't it? Legislation's only there for when we can't control it, wasn't it? Pretty much. When we can't control this, then we go to legislation. I was like, well, how many people does it make for you to realise we can't control this?
I think it's bad because you listen to Luke Hannah's podcast this morning, like I said to you, where I think he articulated very well what policies procedures mean. Because when you talk to people on the ground, they're like, it just is a bit of paper. And to be fair, in most organisations it is. Yep. And it's more to protect the company than it is to protect the people, in terms of that's how it's viewed. Because the people doing the job don't read any of it. And they don't even hardly read risk assessments. Yep. And that's the battle, someone like myself faces all the time, trying to get them to understand them and follow what we say we're going to do. Yeah. But for the person at the top of the construction industry, and I'll put it like that, to say that all legislation's a waste of time and we need to burn it all,
Yeah.
Like, so for people like Luke who puts a lot of time in making sure that these policies, these procedures, and these processes, and does research and tries to improve these to better the people. If you're basically saying through that his work's a waste of time,
Yeah.
and for me that's just where as a leader,
It was strange.
as a
wasn't it?
leader,
Yeah.
like where leaders are meant to encourage people. What encouragement did anyone get from that?
You said about him turning up just for his talk as well, and I thought that because the first 5 or 10 minutes in talking, I thought you just kind of contradicted everything what's been said this morning. Like you could have really, it would have really helped you by being there this morning. You would have maybe felt a bit of compassion between our panel, the next panel, and then been able to say, and I 100% actually, if he would have been there for the whole day, I reckon he might have come around to it a bit. Wouldn't he?
Mate,
Yeah.
and I've been thinking about this over and over again. I think about it so much because do you know when you're in a position like the question that you had to Mark, right?
Yeah.
And the question I put to Mark, I'm this person where I think about that for weeks, man. Like I wait, like last night in bed in the hotel last night in Chelmsford, I just kept running through what I should have said, or how I should have said it differently, or I should have asked this, or should have done that. And I just think that if he was there for the whole day, I think he should have come with the approach of these guys know more than me, and that's how I approach my work in life. I go to whatever I do on a construction site from a health and safety perspective, I always turn up to site with the mindset of they know more than me.
Yep.
Because they do the job.
Yeah, 100%.
So if I see something that I think's wrong, I go there with the perception of it might not be. Let's have a chat.
Yep.
And more often than not,
facilitate a conversation around.
you facilitate. But if you go and speak to someone as a parent, they'll respond as a child. So if you're like, I've seen like you do this, they'll respond as a child. And I think,
and we know what that means with a little girl.
Yeah, God, yeah, good grief, yeah. So I think if he'd have been there for the whole day, and if he came with a bit more of an open mind to go, right, these are the experts, I'm going to take in this, and if he just sat there and gone, right, I openly admit we haven't done enough, or maybe we're not doing enough, but like maybe open it up as a question, what can we do, and or identify key people in that room, and ideally the 8 people that we had within the panels, I probably would take away the people that are maybe Brett and the other guy that works with America,
States,
but maybe not
for the UK,
for the UK, but I can't remember the girl's name that was on the panel with you,
Katie Keller.
Katie, yeah. Katie, Rob, like Rob Cheeseman, yourself, like. I know I really liked what Brett was saying, to be fair. But yous are all people who are passionate and have learned from real good positions, and use them. They're resources.
This is what's I bang the head against, isn't it?
Mate, if you got offered to go there and you believe that there was an opportunity for genuine change, no money's involved.
No.
You just go
there is a really easy way to shut me up. Is to just listen to me and just help support me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying chuck loads of cash or money. I'm not saying we want this from it. I'm saying that listen to what we've got and learned and found in the last. I've been doing this now coming up to 10 years next year that I've kind of really delved into it hard. But I'm like, I'm not going away. Like, and you're just ignoring it. I can't understand that. And there's such a back up against entertaining this lot down here. But look, social media, podcasts, YouTube, look what Fred's created. This stuff is only getting louder.
Lovely bloke.
And over the next 10 years, it's only get louder. And this kind of, and I likened it, and I have done for years, to the RFU, the Rugby Football Union. It's old boys clubs where it's just like, I disrespect, but it's the older guys, late 50s, late 60s, in early 70s, looking at retirement, looking at getting that kind of last hurrah, what we can do, or putting this thing. Everything on LinkedIn, when you look at it, isn't the way, you know what I mean? But then actually when you go into this, I went into one, the Institute of Directors with the Leadership Council invited us along at the Institute of Directors there. Big 150 people sat down. They said the way they're going about things. I then later on said to them that I don't want to go this way. This isn't the way we're going about. I'm backing out. There's a bit more to it than that, but that's, I'm not here to discredit anyone, but I just didn't agree with that approach. And that day would set up a LinkedIn page for 150 people who were in the room, and they've got a certain page there now. We're all in. The first thing I'd done a couple of days later was I put the mental health summit people, and I said that this summit's going on the top of the Gherkin. It's free entry. I think it'd be beneficial to everyone. Not one person from that 150 people in that room come to that summit. Mark Reynolds was, I think, probably the only one. There might have been one or two who I don't know of. But I'm like, hang on a sec, all that whole leadership group of 150 people who were aware because I put the message in there, none of them showed face. The people heading up that project, this mental health project, they weren't there. And I've spoken to them since as well. Just like, you can't, they weren't in there to even, I'll tell you who was there, Carrie Spotsanova, who's golden. And I like Carrie a lot. Yeah. Carrie's been great. She's opened the doors to a lot for me over the last 3-4 years.
She was in Balfour Beatty when I was there. She's really good.
Yeah, so she has literally been, Steve, if you've got a problem, come in and we can have a coffee. And I appreciate that. That's more than anyone else has done there. But yeah, she was there. But in my head, I'm like, why wouldn't you have got the people who even presented this mental health project at this Institute of Directors? Why have you not got them in that room with someone like with Fred's power who can put your fucking story and message across the world in one click of a button? But that was, to me, after 9 years of doing this hard, the Gherkin was the best event that's happened in the mental health space of construction. Because I think, again, my headache of the last 9 years was shared across the room with everyone else. I felt a little bit better, selfishly.
Yeah.
I was like, now people can see that this isn't the path we need to go. And as you've mentioned as well today about friends who've gone different routes to get to legislation, or you don't need to go for the Leadership Council. They don't actually represent us. It's a shame because we need to be represented. But it would be bloody glorious if they did, wouldn't it? You used to leadership through the military. Some amazing leaders.
That's it. And that's why I think like visibility, like be visible. I wonder how many people at Leadership Council, and it sounds like I'm being, because it's not a fact and I don't know this, and it might be good. They might be good at it, but visible leadership, like how many of them have got to site and spoke to people about mental health? Like how many people go to site and actually have a conversation with people? Like, but I mean this in a way of, like in Balfour's, right? Which I'm incredibly loyal to them, and because they taught me what I know.
They've got an incredible company.
And the people within Balfour's gave me everything in terms of knowledge and opportunity and stuff. So I love them, and I think they're incredible company. But one thing I have a problem within like a corporate environment is as a leader. So if Mark Reynolds was he was leader of Mace, I think if he was to go, if he said to one of his team, "Oh, I'm going to go to this site on Tuesday," mate. So from like today, so Thursday, from today to Tuesday, there'll be blimmin' 6 extra workers been brought on board to go and do some housekeeping. Yep. Oh, we can't have that there. We can't have that there. We can't have that there. And then it'll be like, right, go through all the documentation. Let's say, okay, right, what works are going on Tuesday? Well, we can't do that work because that looks quite risky. We can't do that. And then all of a sudden Tuesday comes. All the guys and girls that are doing the job on site, they're like on edge. And then they can't actually do the job that's probably in program to do. Yeah. And then he turns out and then he goes away and he does this report. But he will turn up with an entourage of people, probably, you know, because everyone's thought, what's Mike's used to get out? Because Mark's getting out. Let's get some FaceTime. Yeah. And then he doesn't actually have a genuine conversation with a guy or girl doing the job. Yeah. And I think the visibility is great because you, from one perspective, you see what the site's doing, and you know, you do speak to some people. Regardless of that, but the visibility is to show as a leader, regardless of how high or low you are in the chain, that like I'm here to see the work. And if you've got a problem with whatever, speak to me. And when you do this side of it, well, this pretty and red carpet scenario, not one person on site is going to talk to you about anything that's worth what they think that they want to talk to you about over a pint. Like what you would talk about with someone over a pint would be different to what you talked about with someone there. So I think this. I look at the Construction Leadership Council, and I don't know where, and I look at it in a way, and it's very presumptuous, and it's an opinion, and it's not a fact, and I haven't got any information on it. But I have this like ivory tower view of like, what are you genuinely doing to better construction?
Well, there's hundreds of people in there, and these people aren't like showing face. That's the thing with it. You're speaking to it all day, every day. Could be part of it, but no one shows face. It always makes me wonder. But they're not a business. They're not a registered entity. There's nothing to it. They're just a group that's been formed off the back of advisory from government. But yeah, who knows?
I do think my experience in construction, I've only been in construction 8 years since I left the army, but I worked for Balfour's, obviously tier 1. I went into a smaller company, probably would say tier 2, maybe around that. And then the job I'm in now, I'm just about to leave, is in a very, very small company sort of thing. So I've seen from like the top down sort of thing.
Yeah, you've got a good view of the all.
I think the Balfour's had a really good they have a real good requirement with their leaders to get out on site, and some leaders will just turn up, and do it. So I love that, And then the middle ground, like the tier 2s that are trying to maybe become tier 1s, or they're really focused on sort of profits and stuff because they've got a lot of overheads, like they don't go outside. I was in an organisation for 2 years called Ethical Power, like, they're having a bit of financial problems at the minute, but their leaders never went outside ever. But they've got hundreds and hundreds of staff everywhere, and there's such a big disconnect between what you do and what
I
you
worked
see.
for Costain for 4 years when we done that Crossrail walk, and we were the first people to ever walk Crossrail, to attempt it. No one's done every single station in over a 3-day expedition, should we say. We walked into the HQ, the Costain head office in Maidenhead. Wasn't allowed in because security went let us through at the desk, at reception. So we're here to see X person. Sorry, they're in meetings. I said, well, they know we're coming. Can we wait? No, sorry, they're not available today. I was like, they've kind of been made aware we're coming. No, sorry. We just got sent out again. I was like, we're doing this. We're representing the project, the company, to Network Rail, to the world, to the industry, the world. I said the UK. We made some headlines. We had a few newspaper articles at the back of it. I think they said, this afternoon they may be available. I was like, we can't do that. We're walking. We need to be in Heathrow by 5 o'clock. And we walked away from then, and I was just, that was my first real wake up call of, I don't give a shit today, sort of thing. And I was like, fuck. So, and that was early doors. This was 2016. And I rung up a project manager, the head of, what was he? He was kind of the, it'd be classed now. He was at the community, he looked after the community engagement stuff. So yeah, social value, I suppose, come under now. But he looked after that. And who was it? Lee Graham and Ben Cern, I can't remember now. And they, it went back to the project directors the project directors got hold of the news that we hadn't got in and wrote an email, a snotty email to HQ to say that these guys, and saying that, the guys who were, one was ex-police, one was ex-military, put on the project team, who literally put these emails across. So yeah, their ethics are in the right place. And when you don't realise what these people are doing for our project and what they're trying to do for the company as a whole, and you've not even given the recognition of letting them in the doors. And then I got a phone call the day after. So it was a 3-day walk. That was day one. Day two, I got a phone call from the PA of the top chief, the Mr. Chief, saying that they're extremely apologetic on what the situation is. Obviously, you can't come back here, but are you available on your final day tomorrow to join a Zoom? What was it called then? It wasn't even a Teams call. Yeah, conference call. A conference call. And I said, yeah, no worries. And they're okay. And of course, they went, yeah, just to make you aware, though, with the procedures we're talking to these people, you've got to just mind your language. They'll ask you a few questions. Just go through that. As in, like, I have to do as I'm told. And I was like, okay, no worries. And I thought, I am absolutely battered here, walking for this company, representing, and you've got the audacity to tell me how I've got to talk.
It makes you nervous, right?
Yeah. No, angry.
Not you, maybe.
No,
not you,
no,
obviously. You're not like most people, Most people make you nervous, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking I've got to talk like that at all. No, at one point I went, no, I'll talk as I like.
Yeah.
I've never, see where my daughter gets it from there. And I was walking past between Chadwell and Romford, and the call come in. And they literally said, hello, Steve, pleasure to speak to you. Apologies, there was obviously some miscommunications at the start. All in they're straight out of Eton College, well-to-do. How are you getting on? And I literally said there, and I said, I ain't going to lie, I'm fucked. Just come completely fucked. And literally, the room, and this was what proved it, that room burst out laughing.
Yeah.
They found it hilarious. And their guards were let down, if anything. They're probably thinking we're talking to this ropey little ground worker, and this what's going to go on here. And they got exactly what they expected. And but from that day, I knew, I was like, you guys speak the same language in those offices. Don't pretend you don't, because you got your suit on. You know what I mean? And from that taught me all the way then, just don't care, don't worry or fear anyone in these boardrooms or these people. And then from that job, I went to AMK Deepham's, there was Acon, Murphy's and Kia, Edmonton, big sewage treatment plant, the shit farm. Amazing project, stunk like hell, but it was incredible civils project, huge machine, smashing up huge stuff and pouring a hell of a lot of concrete. And the project director there backed me to put a walk together there, and he come out on it. Phil Hobson, who was at Kia's at the time, he went over to Abu Dhabi, I think, recently, but I think he's back. And he come on, he said, why don't we do this walk then, Steve? If you've done it with Crossrail, do it here. We do a 2D one through from Acon's office to Kentish Town, where Murphy's were, up to Sandy, where Kia's were based at the time. And he come on the walk, and then that taught me then that these people in direct positions I can be pals with. It's like I can have a conversation with anyone. he come on the walk, and then I remember sitting back watching it. They got a picture, project director, and a guy who's not even got his level 1 or 2 or whatever it is at scaffolding. He's only been scaffolding for 3 or 4 weeks. He's a labourer for a scaffold company, basically, at that stage. No disrespect, but they were walking along having a fucking great laugh together. They got a picture. I've got a photo of them two next to a road, what's called like Cock Close. And they just found it hilarious, and it was so immature. But they got a picture with it, and but what that picture shows, there's a project director and someone at the other end of the fucking industry who find this funny. Like they've got the same sense of humour. Immature, turns out one of them, Phil's got a lovely, he had a Audi TT at the time that he parked up in the car park every day, where everyone come around and admired, brand new one, and then. He went on to an F-Type Jag, actually, I think it was, on his next one. He's Luton Dark, so I went out in it with him. It was quite fun. And then this other lad, this labourer, was just into his cars, but obviously hasn't got an Audi TT. I don't know what he had, but he was into car race, Formula 1, all that motor racing. So they got talking about a mutual topic they liked, and they found the same things funny. And they walked along like mates. So then when they bumped into each other on the project, they would speak. No one would speak in that, like you say, project directors and people on the ground. No way. You just get out of the way. You go and tea break when they come out. They spoke and were literally pals. And I was like, this title shit we all fight with and respect to a certain degree, far away. It's fucking useless. It's like, these people are humans. You know what I mean?
The people doing the job want to know who they're doing the job for and what they're doing the job for. Like, and you'll get 10, 20, or you'll get 20% more out of people if they believe in the journey.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you'll get, people will do the job you ask them to do.
Yep.
But the extra 20% that you probably want from people, not in terms of doing it quicker, faster, but the extra 20% are the people that will try to look for better, for better ways of doing things or quicker ways of doing things or whatever. They'll try to better your business.
Yeah.
And that is through exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Go and talk to the people. Go and identify who your key people are.
Yeah. Back them.
Yeah, 100% back them.
Yeah.
You know,
we went on one a few weeks ago. I can't say the person who's come in with it, but a good friend of mine, Jack Norkie at Red Construction, project manager in West London and Kensington, 40 Broadway between Houses of Parliament and Buckingham Palace. He's gone on site. He's running the job really well. He's probably 33, 34, 34-ish. Young site manager. He's smashing it. He's a real, future's really bright for him, and he's doing really well now. He's on site, the team. Everyone on the site, I walk around with him. Everyone loves him. He engages with him, and he's just one of the guys. He's got he wears his white collar. He's proud about it, and people respect him for it, but he also, he gives it fair. He took the client's client around this property that they're building, and this person's ended up saying that we'll take the whole building instead of just one floor, what they thought it would. This person's come in for his business. I'll tell you off camera, so I can't say it publicly. It's a cool one. But people, some of his workers were like, do you know who the hell that was? And he was like, no.
I think you told me. I'm like, yeah. Cool, yeah.
So he literally like, they didn't realise. But he said now, because he's engaged like the guys on the ground, he's let them know that they are having it. This is going to be this. The morale on the site has pushed, is literally raised so much. Kim was like, oh my God, we're building this now, for them. You know what I mean? So, but he's like, but he's opened that conversation with guys on the ground. Like, they are going to be doing this. They are going to be having this. This is now going to change once we hand it over. But he said people on site are buzzing to be there. But it's like, what happens when, and I want to do it. I'd love to do a standalone documentary on a project about how we can make it a good place to work. So you can showcase, like a BBC documentary of some description, and every it goes out over 6 parts, and you do it. It's a year-long project, and each one's just showing what happens. But what can be done?
100 Club will let you do that, surely.
Yeah, this is what I'd love to, just to go look. Can we come in every other month, every other week, or every other month, and you report on what you're doing, and we engage with staff. But at the same time, you let us do what we want to do with the staff as well, and can enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
And show, and something the youngsters of today can look and go, oh, I'd love to be a part of that.
I think that would be good if you did it from literally the start to finish, and I mean from planning stages. So from before we put people on site, talk to the people planning the job, what are you up to, how's it going, and then you've got a real good lifespan of a project from start to finish. And if it's a year long from the construction side, it's probably 18 months long from a design to finish perspective. I'd watch that.
Be cool, wouldn't it?
I'd watch that, yeah.
We've got to show some positive stuff. But talking of positive stuff, you went for a little trot once or twice this year. Got amongst it.
I went on the job interview for this job I've now got a couple of days ago, and the HR director, she we had a chat. She was like, "Oh, I've been on your LinkedIn. I've seen you went on congratulations on your walk." And immediately I was like, I mean, I wish it was a walk. But
a walk as well. Just one singular effort.
But yeah, I went on a little jog, mate. Yeah.
So what was it? You don't support mates in mind? We didn't know you at the time.
Yeah.
Speak to them, guys.
I did. So my relationship with mates of mine was when I was in Balfours. I championed a lot of their stuff. So they do a lot of stuff for managers. Like, I'm passionate on leaders being good leaders. So if you put someone in a leadership position, do that because they're a good leader, not just because of their subject knowledge. Because you get a difference. And I was really passionate about helping people who were in leadership positions to understand like what to spot in your team and what to signs and symptoms. So if someone's actually give them a time of day and don't think they're trying to have you over for a day off or a couple of hours off, just give them a chance. So they did a manager conversation, it was called, and I did that across the whole country within Balfours, and then I did lead the conversation, so I didn't go and do it to directors, like senior directors and stuff, and educate them on it. So I had a bit of a relationship with mates of mine at that point, and I really liked how their content on how they would
deliver it.
Go to the managers and leaders. So when I thought about this event, I thought, that's a good place to start, basically.
And then you decided to do what?
500 miles, so did 500 miles in full PPE,
In full PPE,
over 9 months. So I think it worked out. It turned out it was over half marathon every week. So when I'm pretty sure with maths, mate. I was like working out on my phone. I was like, all right, 500 miles. All right, okay, how many weeks is that? Whatever. So the goal was always to start on January 1st. And it was always to finish on World Suicide Prevention Day. And I don't know how I got the maths wrong, but before I started the event, it worked out. I don't know why, but it worked out a half marathon every week, pretty much. So I was like, I'll do that. And then it was only like 3 months into the event, I actually did the maths and it worked out. It was like 14.5 miles every week, which was more than a half marathon. An extra sort of mile, whatever it was.
It soon adds up.
But so it came from, I've lost like family. So I cut cousins to suicide. Say cousin, he's not like a blood cousin, but my brother's cousin. We're from a different mum sort of thing. But I always got brought up like they're my family sort of thing. So lost him to suicide at a young age, and he died when he was 18. I think he was 18, and that was my first experience of suicide really. And I'm seeing his family, like his mum and stuff, and still seeing his mum struggle now. And that was in 2008, I think, maybe a year or so after or before. I can't directly remember. It might have been 2010, but how long that's been, and she really still struggles with it, right? That was my first experience of suicide, and ever since then, like I've heard of a few people within the army suicide, take their own life, and quite a few people within the last, I'd say 5 years. I think suicide's ramped up massively. I think it's ridiculous how much now. Like I think every time I am in front of people and I've got an opportunity to talk about mental health, my first question I ask is, right, how many people know someone who's taken their own life? And honestly, mate, 9 times out of 10, everyone puts their hands up, and I think that's staggering, right? So I've always had a bit of experience like learning about it, but I come from I never believed mental health was a thing. When I was in the army, I was always believed that that's just I don't suffer from mental health, I'm fine, blah, 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 blah. And my sister, Claire, she really struggled with mental health at one point, and she opened up to me one day, and I was useless, man. I was useless. I was like finding reasons why she shouldn't have. I was trying to find reasons why she shouldn't have mental health, and I thought that was helping. I was having a conversation, and she was like, "I just can't get out of bed. I'm like struggling, and I don't want to be here." She's like crying, and I was like, "Well, but you've got a healthy kid, like you've got a job, like why have you I'm thinking I was helping, right? But all I was doing, and since I've gone on my journey of understanding and getting empathy, I understood that I was not helping in that situation. All I was doing was separating myself from her and putting myself up here and putting her down here. And we've spoke about it since. But that was my first experience with probably a direct conversation about mental health. And then it wasn't until after I've left the army I realised that when I was in the army I went through some times where, because I got injured quite a bit. I spent a lot of my military career injured. If you ever speak to any of my military friends, I'll always laugh and joke and say that I was always like not taking part, right?
Yeah.
But I failed P Company. I don't know if you know what P Company is with Paras, obviously.
Yeah.
I failed it 6 times. And
That's when they do the Paris 10 then, isn't it? To qualify as part of the P Company process.
Yeah. And so in my regiment, you're only meant to do P Company twice, and if you don't pass it twice, you're gone. But I've always showed willingness to want to pass it, and it's always been one of my life goals from when I joined, and I failed it 6 times. I had this condition in my legs that I didn't know at the time, but it just kept getting worse and worse throughout my attempts, and when I was not on the fitness courses and I was back in the regiment, and when the regiment I was having a chat with my mate this morning, because it was cold and wet when I was running this morning, and it always takes me back to my army days when you wake up early, you go out.
Essex rain as well.
Yeah, there's like 30 people, and you stood there, and then the fitness instructor stood at the front, and he's like, right, okay, if you're not taking part, stand to the left. Yeah. And the amount of times I've had to be the one stand to the left, and when you're stood to the left, and the guys and girls that are doing the run, well, predominantly guys because I'm a man-only regiment, the feeling of not taking part is horrendous, because even in the army, the culture is, even if you've got a broken leg, physically you've got a broken leg, people who are taking part will look at you like a piece of shit, because you're not taking part. You're not doing what we're doing. Yeah. And mate, it isn't until I've looked back now I've realised how hard that was for me.
Yeah, I imagine that
it's really shaped me. Yeah, it's really shaped me into the fear of failure. I've got a real fear of failure.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah. Which most people probably do. And that anyway, so that's my sort of journey in terms of how I sort of become to understand mental health. And when I joined Battle for Beating, I got taught empathy, and I went all these courses to try and go and help people. I put myself in a position where people would see me as someone who knew, and as people started to see me as someone they could talk to. Yeah. And throughout that journey over the past 6-7 years, I've consistently been someone that someone would ring me and we'd have a conversation, and I'd be, you say, how are you? Yeah. And someone would be like, oh, right, I'll say how I really feel here. And I've had so many conversations with people who, would want to take their own life and stuff like that. So it's just built my passion. It's built my passion, my passion to want to help people. And then I got to a point where just before Christmas last year, I was working from home and I was doing some educational material. It was coming up to Christmas, like it is now, this time last year sort of thing. And Christmas is probably the biggest time of the year where people do take their own life, just because of so many factors, financial factors. We all know that. And I was doing some research and trying to do some promotional material and wanting to get out there and speak to people and stuff within the company I was in at the time. And then I looked at the statistic. I was looking at obviously with on average to 500 people. And my daughter was just crawling at this point. And I remember working from home, my office was here, and my daughter was crawling up there. Yeah. And I remember just sat there, I was like, imagine if suicide took me away from her or her away from me. And it just I'm not an emotional person. I don't cry. Hardly ever cry, basically. Sorry. And I just was like, that's a lot. So I thought, right, I need to do something. What can I do that will bring attention to the cause, that will help spark a conversation with people? Yeah. And the money for me was one thing. And to be fair, I'm going to say it straight away, is that the money to the charity is honestly amazing, and I love that because it helps them with their research. But for me, it was more about the conversation. Yeah. So I decided to do that run. I contacted mates of mine. They were straight away. They were on it. They were like, "Yeah, that's amazing. Let's see what we can do to help you," sort of thing.
But Laura really helped you there as well, didn't she? She's great. Yeah.
She was the first person I spoke to be fair. I spoke to someone, I can't remember her name, but she put me on to Laura. Laura was bang on it straight away. And then so we went through specifics. I sort of organised my year, and then I just started getting out there running. And the start of the event was quite was hard. It was hard because running in boots ain't great.
So you picked different locations every time, didn't you?
Yeah, so I ran all over the UK basically. Over the 9 months, I ran all over the UK. I did half marathons in Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, England. Obviously, mostly England. But my goal was to just get out there and run, and where people can. When you run in PPE, people are like, "Mate, what are you up to?" Yeah. And that was the point. And then I go, "This is what I'm doing." Yeah. And then that's where people are like, "Oh, cool." I can't tell you, mate, how many people just during my runs and half marathon, I'm absolutely hanging out my ass, were telling me about their struggles, and I loved it, mate.
Yeah.
I loved it because the amount of times someone would be on their goal, right? They're running they're doing an event, they're running, they're trying to achieve their goals, and then they're running next to me, and then they're finding that they're talking, and I can, I love that you've had so many conversations with people recently. I'm not that I'm it's not great that they've been struggling, but it's good that you've been seen as someone to talk to. But when you talk to someone who's struggling, you can almost see the weight just go, right? And I saw that so much throughout my miles, man, like throughout the UK. And I had so many people message me, and I just thought, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Happy days.
And someone did message me to say that my friend took his own life during the event.
Jeez.
I went to a funeral, and mate, I know I said it in the construction leadership thing, but I don't think we talk enough about it. We talk a lot about suicide, and I love that we trying to get the conversation out there. But mate, the effects on families is ridiculous. Yeah. Like my school friend, I'm friends with his sister, been friends with his family for years, but sort of thing. And he's got a 7-year-old kid, and to be at a funeral and to see a 7-year-old boy like watch his dad's coffin go away in the music, like it's just like I've got goosebumps. Yeah, like, it's hard, man. So when I did that, there was I did a video. Sorry.
Take your time, pal. There's plenty of water in front of you. Was he a friend from old school, was he? Or military guy?
Sorry. A bit of both. Yeah. A bit of both. He wasn't like I wouldn't say like my best mate or anything, and I wouldn't lie and say that. Sometimes I see people try and gain off people's deaths.
It's a weird world.
Like we had our ups and downs, like we had our ups and downs as mates, whatever. But we were all like in the same friendship circle, sort of thing. So, and I'm really sorry for his loss, But the effect on me has been his family.
Yeah. Well, you can see yourself in it, can't you? I think I've seen that a few times. I went to a funeral a few years back with a close friend of ours who passed away, and his little boy spoke. His little boy gave a message, and his auntie read it out. Just go, "Go!" In the room. You're just thinking, you want this hole to open up and just swallow you. I'm like, Jesus. But yeah, I think, as a family man as well, when you can relate to this stuff, and you go, to us, it's the fuel, isn't it, really? To go, and it obviously was for you to go and do that run, to go, right, we need to do something about this. We can rather sit back and ignore it, or we can fucking put our foot down and go, stop. Yeah. This needs to stop.
Well, the crap thing is that I was 2 months in my run at this point. Yeah. I was in my run. Like, and then that happened. And then I did a video, like I did one of my videos, obviously I did loads on mainly Instagram and TikTok, but I did a video and it went quite viral. So because I'm from Kent and Dover in terms of where I went to my secondary school, so pretty much most of my friendship circles are from there. If they're not from there, they're all around the UK from the army. But it went quite viral. There was like hundreds of shares and comments and likes and stuff. And someone messaged me on Facebook, and I never saw it until the second message, which was about 3 weeks later, because it was in a message request, which I didn't. Sometimes you don't get that. Yeah. And it was a girl that basically was like, I saw the first message was, I've seen your video. I'm really struggling with my mental health. And you're, really thanks for your video. Basically, I'm really struggling with mental health. And I didn't see that, obviously. And then I got the second message about 3 weeks later. And I'm really thankful that she messaged me the second time, by the way, because if I'd have seen that and only just seen the one message, and then 3 weeks later or whatever, I'm like, and I've not replied to her, I felt like instantly terrible. So the second message was, thank you very much for all of your videos. I've looked at the some of the content for support that you've put on. I've gone and got support, and now I was at the point of watching your video. I was planning to take me on live, and now I'm in a much better place.
Bonkers, isn't it? Yeah.
And mate, that moment, I think it was in March. Like that moment, I was like, my job's done. I could finish this run now. Yeah. I'm not going to, but I could finish this run now, and I think I've helped one person. Yeah. And it's hard because I don't want to. And this is it comes back to the award that one that makes mind. I don't want to take recognition for that. Like I just don't feel like it's right for me to feel like I'm I'm profiting from
Yep.
someone's hardships. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think as well, I tell you what, there's not enough people going out and doing it. You know what I mean? There's not enough people flying the flag to go, literally flying the flag as well, running with it.
Oh, yeah.
There's not enough people in this industry going, we're willing to put their head above the parapet, and you've done that. And I believe that's worth an award. Again, trust me, you see the awards get thrown around this industry. Oh, fucking hell. They donated half a broken fence to the local nursery, and someone's got 17 awards for it, the local, in the middle of West London show business. But
mate, I went to an award ceremony, right, a couple of years ago, and we had a conversation offline about the awards and stuff, right? Yeah. And I went to this award ceremony, and I'm not going to say the award or whatever, the creditor or the award ceremony, who they are, but we'd made it to this final, whatever, for the change that we've made in a business. And it was a change that, that sort of my team would champion. And we'd made such a difference, right, with this change. And the winners of these awards were all winners of the award based on the company, and they were the sponsorship. And it was, I've got no evidence to back that up, man, but you could see it.
Count the tables at sponsors. Mate, count the tables.
Yeah. Oh, it was like, but they didn't even hide the fact that the projects that were winning these awards were just all the same project.
Yeah.
They were all the same project, the same pictures.
Yeah.
And all it has done, someone's duplicate it. And they were winning all these awards. And obviously these companies must sponsor these awards. Like.
Yeah.
And I walked away from that, I'm not entering awards again.
So my thing as well was when it gets to that position as well, a lot of these companies do this because they want to show that they're out there, and it gives them a good marketing platform to show they've got the awards. I kind of get that to their clients, what ultimately secures them work. In my head, I'm like, why don't put the effort you put in to get these awards into just your marketing and digital media that you're doing, and really showcase it so people know the behind the scenes. And there is a few actually who I'd say have been heavy in that awards ceremony world over the last few years, who I've seen now are doing a lot behind the scenes to showcase who their staff are, bringing the people on the ground in front of the camera and going, can you explain what this is as a business? And it's so healthy in that. I'm like, yeah, this is it. The award, it show people 365 days a year through your YouTube channels. We'll come and video it.
Yeah. I think accreditations have gone out of control, though, haven't they?
The accreditation thing.
You drive me on a van in traffic, mate.
Yeah, we just had one come through the door the other day. Can we renew accreditation? I said, no, we'll keep that $3,500, $4,000 or whatever. Thanks. It's got us nothing this year. And the companies that we're working with have kind of ignored it anyway. Yeah, it is bonkers. And there's a few people out there in the mental health space now as well. And I've said to a few people, clear, and said, I'm interested in the accreditation stuff you're doing if the evidence is backed up with evidence, what is visual, and you can see, and it's not a duplicate fucking tick box paper. Because we all know them. There's people firsthand. You can buy these accreditations through LinkedIn, Instagram. People pop up, send us your details, transfer us X amount, and we'll get the accreditation over to you.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that, but that is just
every day, especially Instagram, especially CSCS stuff and CITB accreditations. It's anything, mate. People making a lot of money out of this. This industry is the equivalent of the wild, wild west. Like, you look at just how it all runs and the scams and fraudulent things that have gone out of the last years. There's no denying it. It's just things aren't regulated. That's why certain people don't want legislation, because it's going really well for some people at the moment.
Yeah.
And
it is, of course.
Yeah, and I've unearthed it accidentally, not because I've gone out looking for it, but I'm just trying to work out why people wouldn't want to prioritise people not taking their own lives. And then you end up in this political world of, what the fuck, now we've got to speak to Parliament, or we've got to go to government. I'm like, my family are very much from East London, and they've always warned against going to West London.
Yeah.
There's a difference in society, and we're not part of that world. But I'm like, I've got to delve in a little bit just to try and get somewhere. But yeah, it's just, and you're obviously on this journey as well with it and seeing stuff firsthand. And like I said, I'm open and honest to anyone and everyone. I just say, call it for what it is. Really, that this is what's happening. Prove me wrong. No one's ever said that
no,
you're
I love
actually
it.
wrong.
Like I've got my best mate Lee. I've never really suffered from any mental health. I've never thought about taking my life. I find myself quite a resilient person, and I think that's a lot of it's down to the fact that I speak to my mate all the time. I speak to him 3-4 times a week on the phone on the way to work. And some days I'll answer the phone, or he'll answer the phone, and it will need to be about me today, or it'll need to be about him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, and he'll just go through his stresses, my stresses, and it's just all good. And I generally believe I've never really been in a dark place because of that.
Yeah.
And what I liked this morning, I spoke to him and I said on the way in, I was like, I'm going down to see, and he came on the 10K run with us in London. Yeah. And he's now like, follows you on LinkedIn and stuff now, and he's like, oh mate, have you seen that he's doing this, or have you seen that? I'm like, yeah. Like, so the power, I do like the power of social media that way, and the power of the conversation, because people are, mate, you guys are doing incredible, right?
All just trying to say to people is like, it's two nerds and a fat ground worker just trying to literally crack on. And
you were saying this morning you sometimes get involved in the old groundworks as well,
all the time. I'm a machine driver. I drive machines. I can dig holes. I'm not the best machine driver in the world, but I can move a stockpile.
Yeah.
They can do footings and everything. I've helped out a man a few weeks ago. I love it. And I sat on a machine at my mate's house a few weeks ago because he hired a machine in to do an extension. Rung me up. So where are you? I was on the run.
You was on the run.
Yeah, I was on the run in London. That's what's up. You see, I've got a machine. I realised that driving a machine's a bit difficult. Can you come round? So I went round to him the Friday morning after the run. And then I went round there for the full day on the Sunday as well. So I went round there Sunday morning. I even went into a weekend shift for me. The rates were right up there. And he's a good friend of mine. He's helped me a lot. And I sat on the machine. I had my shorts on. I did have a pair of boots on. I do, because I've hurt my toes enough in life to realise they are warranted.
Nice.
I had my headphones on. I listened to I had a bit of music going. And I just sat on the digger and I just dug away. And in my head, I went, why can't I just be paid a fee that would support me and build towards my future by just doing this? And I was like, well, that comes with going to work at 5 a.m. and being home at 8 o'clock at night if you're lucky, if you're not working away. And I was like, fuck, it's such a shame. I'm like, why can't I just dig holes around the corner from my house all the time and be paid a lump of money for it? And then, but I loved it, and being on the machine, and even I was better, and I wish I could have been paid I got into being a supervisor and a senior foreman and that, and then, but I wish I could have just been a well-paid ground worker, and it'd be me, my machine driver, and then another body with us helping, and I'll be like, just putting pipe work in, laying pipes or doing whatever, deep drainage, and just kind of here lads, here you are, by Friday you need to be 200 metres that way, or whatever the distance is, and just crack on. And I got, and I'm sure you've come into this world now, pretty different with the M&E world, but in the groundworks world, when you are digging holes and people are nervous and worried about it because they're not into that full time, it was just killing me that we would just get delayed and that someone would come around, this doesn't look right, guys. I'd be like, it is fine, we can promise you. I'd assure you, I'm the one down here, and I realise that if it's not right, it's my life that's going. I can assure you, I'm not stupid enough to be down here without knowing that. And works will get paused, and then it gets stopped, and then works can't start because this isn't signed off, or this, and that kind of tier one world of working was just really negging me out, like really frustrating me. And I was like, I just want to crack on. And that's why when I went actually saying that was like crossrail stuff. That was tough, but we got there, and we had a really good team of people around us, and that worked really well. I went to a few other rail jobs, like possession stuff on weekends, when it was like, this fucking, you're killing us. And all you're doing is putting more and more pressure on us to deliver this now. You've just delayed us 3 hours at the start. We don't, the final date, the final hour doesn't move back. The train service is not going to change because it will, but at a heavy price, and we can't afford that. But then when I say with Deepham's, the sewage works there, that was just like, this one needs to be done, just get it done. Steve, you've got the number, call the concrete. And we just cracked on. And they pretty much just went, here's a site, what say, 6 acres in size, or whatever it was. And it was split into 2 acres in 3. And I was on the FST, final settlement tanks, and it was this area. And they pretty much went, the exclusion zone for this site is literally around the boundary line. Anything fucking goes inside there. There was no we had little excavations in it, we fenced off, but it was very much, you are briefed up on the outer exclusion zones. So whatever's going on, that you can just crack on. And it was brilliant, and I loved it. And we were doing 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week, and then doing 6-7 hour shifts for a full day's pay on a Saturday. And I didn't have kids then. Loved it. It was wicked, really helped me out. And I think I had some money on a credit card at the time I needed to get rid of, and that job in no time to clear that. Fucking brilliant. Yeah. And then that was kind of, if I work hard now, then that was kind of, a little change to the way life went. And from that day, I was just like, I wish we could just crack on. And then I started realising the politics behind it and identifying this. And then I was like, just never agreed. I don't get this. And then...
And to be fair, being in... since I've been in construction, I've seen that all of that always comes down to poor planning, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that you mentioned around like the possession side of things and that the close hour doesn't change, right?
Yeah. No.
But
Yeah.
it's the same for everything. And whether you've got a construction project that's for 4 years, a year,
Yeah.
a weekend, a day, whatever it may be, what never changes is the end date.
Yeah.
But what always changes is either the start time or and the only people that puts pressure on is the people doing the job.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you'll turn up to a job as a ground worker and you're 6 hours a day, 2 days delayed.
On the back foot.
They're going to go, well, it doesn't matter, you still have to get it done.
Yeah.
Lads, can you stay another 2 hours today, another 2 hours tomorrow? Can you crack on? Can you do this? And, sometimes you might benefit you financially, which is great.
Yeah.
But people don't understand how important that pre-planning side of things is.
Yeah.
And like, I don't ever see, I was in an organisation, it wasn't Balfour Beatty, where, not the one I'm in now, and I tried to implement something to say, because our projects were like normally a year long, and I tried to implement something to say, you have to have X done by 12 weeks out.
Yep.
And if you don't, then we need to find reasons why, and then we need to mitigate that.
Yeah.
And then by 6 weeks out, you need to have X, like a T minus, basically, like they did in the rail, right? And they were like, and I tried to implement it, and they were like, no, can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't do that. I was like, but do you not understand the pressure you're putting on the guys and the girls on the ground? Like, it just, it's all to do with that, isn't it? It's all to do with
does.
pressure,
The
innit?
politics come into it. Choose the fun out of it, really. And I think that's why I know a lot of people are stepping away from it on the ground in that big world, and the hours will come into it, really, and just the hours you got to put in.
But people don't understand that's where us and them comes from. That's the start of us and them.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, project manager in his office, whatever.
Yeah,
guys, we need to make up 2 days, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
like, sorry, but you're gonna have to.
Yeah, there's a video. I can't remember. I think he's like a Hindu guy, or he might be Sikh. He's Indian descent, and he's sitting like next to a waterfall in India somewhere, and he's like doing this meditation thing. He goes, and he just talks about stuff and puts it in history. He goes, deadlines, guys. They're not deadlines. No one dies. And he just goes, tell your boss it's not a deadline. And he just goes, we all survive in the end. It's so funny. I watched it. I just think, can I take that out and put it on LinkedIn? I thought, I'll tell you what. Everyone's like, why do we call it a deadline? We're not going to die.
Hey, well, to be fair, we're not far off that, are we?
Yeah, well, that's
We're
it.
not
People
far
are
off that.
dying because we are putting them in a way. But I'm like, just relax. Just relax. But then it comes in commercial stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's when it's commercial life takes over.
I get it. The thing is, I do understand it. I do
Yeah.
understand it, but hold yourself accountable at the start.
If legislation was in place, companies wouldn't be able to risk too much pressure like that. Things would ease. That's my feeling.
Especially things like retention. We talk about
retention stuff. And no, madness, absolute madness. So what is next then? 600 miles next year?
Oh no, physically no. After them 50 mountains and these 500 miles, mate, my body's shot. Like, I'm running this morning, like, I was like, my knees are
Support
sore,
vehicle
like,
driver for a big event next year.
yeah, maybe, yeah. I'll be available. Don't worry. I think I might start. I'm trying to go through the process of starting a charity. I know you've been quite good to help give me advice. Yeah. I'm just my goal is to what I've understood throughout I call it market research because that's what that 500 miles was, right?
Yeah.
I spoke to so many people and I've got the view of people don't know I've got a massive view, but people don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
And what is out there is quite confusing. Yeah. So, and it's not, I'm not digging out anyone or charities or digging out any process or whatever.
Yeah, it's not straightforward.
But it's not straightforward. And not as straightforward as what I would probably do if I was struggling. I put myself in the shoes, right, if I was struggling, what do I do? And people don't even know what the Samaritans is. And it baffles me, right? So I'm looking to create a charity that does two things, literally just two things and nothing more. Is the first side of it's going to be signposting. So anyone or any company, any charity that offers a free service to someone who's struggling, there you go. It's like you talk about your orange pages, whatever. Yeah. But it's just going to be right. I want it to be digitally up to date. So we're going to call it one conversation. Yeah. And within the logo, I want a QR code. And basically, for anyone just scan the QR code, it's going to say, "Do you need support? Do you want to learn?" You go, if you need support, it'll be signposting anyone that offers free service, what the service is and what it specialises in. So whether that's anxiety, if it's immediate mental health support, whatever it may be, if whatever, cool, free service, there you go. And this is exactly what they offer. And then the other side is, do you want to learn?
Yep.
And this is where stigma comes in, right? So I really want the most up-to-date, short, sharp opportunity for someone to learn on the phone, whether they're on a train to work, or they're at home in the evening, or they're by themselves, whatever, from two angles. The first angle would be from if someone's struggling. So if let's say you struggle from anxiety, right?
Yep.
And you want to learn a bit about anxiety. What is anxiety?
Yep.
You learn a bit about what anxiety is, maybe some coping mechanisms that might help you deal with it better and understand it, which maybe can put you on a path to either seek further support or just make you understand it a bit better.
Yeah.
And it might not be specific to your situation, but maybe makes you understand anxiety as a whole.
Yep.
And then, but also
piece.
from the second side of things, which is your partner, you've got a wife. If she lives with you, and if you suffer from anxiety, they've got to understand anxiety. Otherwise, it'll be difficult for the both of you.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of friction within relationships. So the second part of the training will be or it could be the same training. I haven't necessarily worked out the specifics, but there'll be education there to the partner to understand what signs and symptoms are and what you can do as an external party, whether you're a wife, a friend, a mum, a dad, a brother, whatever, or a colleague. What you can do to support that person who suffers from anxiety.
Yep.
And that way, that's where they're hopefully breaking down the stigma, right? And I want to do that training. I want that training to be on the phone at all times, and no one pays for it. I don't want anyone to pay for it, because I do find sometimes some charities, their resources are limited for free.
Yeah, this
for
is
free.
in the world of it. I'm literally said the same. I'm like, how can you put stuff behind a paywall? Was it paywall?
And I've focused on the problem, and the problem is that people don't know what's out there, and people aren't educated.
Yeah,
and this is where the conversation comes in, because people like you. We've both had conversations with people that are struggling, right? Mate, they're hard. It's a hard conversation.
Yeah, and
it's not a conversation you want to have.
No,
right? But you've now got the courage to have that conversation because you know what the goal is, right?
Yep.
And that's not to big me and you up. That's just that we've got the courage.
Put yourself
for that.
In this space, yeah.
8 out of 10 people in a room of 10 people. With me and you in there, we're the two. The other 8 don't want to have that conversation because it's a scary conversation, and that's not to say they're not courageous.
Yep.
It's to say potentially they're not educated. So
Yep.
if we can educate 4 out of the 8, if we can educate the 8, great.
Yeah.
But if we can educate 4 out of the 8, then that's where stigma breaks down. So I really
because I've always said that with the stigma thing. What is stigma? It's just lack of education. Isn't it?
It's just lack of education.
If someone come in here and said, Steve, let's really discuss the details of how we're going to put a man on the moon this afternoon, I'm going to feel a little bit of stigma towards that conversation because I've got a fucking clue. Yeah. Or maybe no one has done that. It's all of me. It's all of
we don't know, do we? We don't know.
It's never been done. But in my head, I'm just like, that is what stigma is, isn't it? Lack of education around a certain subject. So we all know how to deal with a subject, deal with the situation. Guess what? The stigma is no more.
Yeah. So I really want that. And mate, I know I've got this. I think about it so much. Like, I want to go and watch the Sunday League football team, and I want the logo to be on the arm of a football shirt.
Yeah.
Where you can just scan it. All you got to do is scan it.
Yeah.
And then it's just everywhere, right? I want it to be everywhere. I want it to be for free. And I don't know how, mate, I don't run a charity. You run a charity, and we talk about it. But
and we're still trying to figure out how to do it, don't we?
Like it's hard to I just don't. I don't want. The goal is to signpost and educate, and I don't want anyone to pay for it.
Well, thinking, from my understanding and from where we've been, is I've got this idea, it's what I do, and then not fear that failure, just run with it and learn on the job all the way through. And we're still here learning now, find out things. We've got it's been an amazing few weeks we've had since the back of the summit, and it was actually, we had things booked in off the back of the summit and what have just all kind of really gone our way in the last few weeks. We said it 3 weeks in this office. We went, I feel like something's coming. It was like something's just about not go pop. Well, it needs to go pop because we're teed up and ready for it to go pop because it's the time and effort and funds we put into being where we are now. But I'm like, it feels like something's about to click. And there's a few things going on right at the moment. I'm thinking, this is happening. You know what I mean? It was a few events last week when the companies just turned around. We walked to Barhow. They put $3,000, a £2,000 target they wanted to raise, and it was ex-military man Nick, amazing lad, and he put this walk together. It was incredible the way he'd done it, regimented it, and he had it 24 hours, checkpoints, boom, 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 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. It was bang on. It was bang on. And then I was like, Jesus, this is a bit much, and I really want to have a kip. And it was just like 10 minutes, that's all. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And but it was, and I've done a lot of walks, and that was very different to what I've done. And he smashed it. And for going 24 hours with that amount of people, it was perfect.
Really?
To control it really.
Okay.
He led from the front. He literally strapped his knee up 20 miles in because it was aching a bit, and just cracked on and was like, no, I'm fine. And then led. And everyone could relate to that because everyone was aching, and they see the leader's aching, but he's cracking on. He'd done so well. They exceeded $2,000 a few weeks before it. He put it up to $3,000. Couldn't believe that he was on $5,500 at the time, like on the walk day. He's ended up going to $7,000. Wow. And then Barhouse said, CEO's just called, he's matching it. 14,211 quid that just raised for us. And I was like, fucking hell. One little walk.
Yeah.
Wasn't no one little one.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, and and just like for them guys, but we had 3 people come to us within 10 days before that to us. And each person that comes to us who needs this emergency support is 1,200 quid, approximately £1,200 per person it costs us. Physically, we have to pay that for the company to deal with people in emergencies. And we have that as our thing that we do. And that is there's no application, there's no can we speak to anyone and monitor them and let's put them on a process where if we have to pay for it, we don't bollocks. No, you need help, here's the help. I can see it, I know you are, we know you from someone, it's normally someone on our network. We can't put that out to the whole industry because we ain't got the funds to do it. But we've got the people, we can notice. It's a case of that we know these people in these areas can support us financially with a bit of fundraising here and there. We're upfront it, but can we work a way that we can maybe get the money back? Or if we don't care, the person's completely separate and someone's not in, and a lot of them are. So the Lost City project, fair play. These guys are from trades backgrounds, not involved with big projects or anything. And we're like, no, the money's come through Lost City, but we can fund that. They get construction talking one that just had £100,000. That's had £100,000 put into it, $100,000 since the mental health summit.
Wow,
from 2 people. They had $55,000 donation and a £50,000 donation. Dollars. Yeah, 2 people in America. UK needs to get into the American, the giving money, culture. It's 2 foundations over there, or entities from organisations. So there's $105,000 effectively been put there. That hasn't come in. That gets split into 5 between ourselves and the other 4 charities across the world. But these things will happen within the last 2-3 weeks. I'm like, fucking hell, yeah. But don't get me wrong, it's been 3-4 months this year. Fuck, this is hard. Like, where's the funds? Where is it? Everyone's in summer breaks. How are we going to get through this? And it's been close to the mark. And then suddenly you get a boom like that. But then we don't know when that next wave's going to come. So it could be another 6 months, could be another year until anything like that comes again. So it's just, and that's the 100 Club. What we're doing is just trying to secure as many companies as we can to fund just £100 a month to support us. So if we know we've got enough of those, all our worries here are covered. You know what I mean? And then the fundraising can go on top for the treatment and therapy, whatever we need to do to support more people. But we're trying to find this. Like, I'm trying to find a way that each month I can go to bed without thinking, shit, how are we going to pay for next month's bills?
Mate, it must be hard, man.
Oh, mate, absolutely. But it's business in general as well, I suppose. It's not just the charity space, especially in construction. It's sleep. It's not sleepless nights. Up since I had therapy 7 years ago, I sleep very well all of the time. Yeah, nothing can faze me with my sleep. Yeah. I don't worry about nothing. I don't fear anything, and it's not the best fit place to be in the world because sometimes you're like, Steve, you should really pay attention to this. This is quite important. I'm like, fuck off. No, I never have been one.
Would you say you're resilient then? You've learned resilience for that.
Yeah, I'd say it's resilience. If it isn't going to kill me or directly hurt my family, I do not fear it in any way, shape, or form. Like I'm in a position where, like, can it hurt me? No. Is it going to affect my family? No. But if you don't pay the bills, that will. I get that. But it's more like, okay, no, I know what I need to do. I need to put hard work in, and then that will sort itself out. That's fine. But it can be done. There's a day if I go jump on a digger at the weekend, I have to jump on a digger at the weekend. I don't want to, but I do not failing. Failure is only failure when you don't carry on trying to achieve the success off the back of it. Ross Edgley said it a few years back. He was trying to swim the longest swim in one hit without stopping. What was like 75 hours or something stupid like that. He got into the 40, 50, 60 hours or whatever and fouled. You would say fouled on each one. Went on, not to his public story, he went and completed it and won it. And he said, all those failures have now just become lessons. They were never failures. They taught me how to get to this stage to do it. And I took a lot from that, really. I'm like, look, we've tried stuff. We've had EAP platforms here. What we've put out to companies, couldn't get it moving, couldn't get people on it, couldn't get it working, cost us money.
I think companies should, like, that should be one of the requirements for a construction company.
Yeah.
EAP.
We
Have an
tried.
EAP.
We tried it. We couldn't get companies. We got on it, but the EAP platforms, they wanted all the guys on the ground to have email addresses, and because it's work related, has to be work related email addresses. Half these guys ain't got fucking touchscreen phones, smartphones, so we couldn't do it that way. So we couldn't get them access to stuff. The turnover of staff was so often that every 5 minutes we're getting messages from the HR department saying, "Can you? We're just taking this one, put this one back on, put this one on, put this on," and then we're trying to monitor all these. But it was just impossible. We done for 10 months. I was putting my hair out with it, and I got to a stage of we can't not do this now. We've probably invested £2,000 or £3,000 we've upfronted of charitable funds as well. We've put into this, let alone our time and effort, but no shame in saying it. We put so much into making this work. And the second I said, no, pull the plug, stop, that I feared at that time, I did genuinely fear it, it hit me that we've just invested all this money and learnt so much. I was like, we've just learned that platform does not work, that process does not work with self-employment. And I felt like this weight of problems that was on my shoulders of being able to say stop, like when something's sinking, to stop sort of thing. That taught me just, no, we've actually learned a hell of a lot here. We know that isn't the road to go down. Like nothing ventured, nothing gained. It was like, we need to find a way of getting those services, what are in an EA platform, in a place where they can be delivered.
I think the way to do that is so whether you're self-employed or employed, so someone, whether you're employed as an individual or a company, everyone pays corporation tax. So why can't the industry mandate that a portion of your corporation tax, which you already pay, goes to an EAP?
Why don't the industry use the money it's already paying in with a levy, CRTB?
Yeah. That's
they got
it.
£100 million sitting in the bank.
Yeah.
Why don't they put some of that into facilitating? They take everyone's money off them for a stupid little plastic card, what now classes me as a labourer. They take that money off everyone and they ain't delivering it back. Why aren't they putting systems in place to support people? What, the CRTB can't afford a helpline, they can't afford a counselling service. £100 million in the bank, and they're taking more and more. They just cut everyone's losses again the other week. The funds, mate. There's a whole new political, that one. But CITB do not recognise mental health in construction in a training space. Full stop. They'll put a little grant here and there to the thing, but if you go there, they're not in a position yet. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stories coming through. We've got a few phone calls in the next few weeks, but it's another entity.
I know,
construction.
We're just not geared. Like I said at the start, we're not geared up for it as an industry. We as a country. The NHS was built on physical health. Construction was built on physical presence and physical controls.
Yeah.
Look
at the Health and Safety at Work Act, 1970, 1974. Jeez,
everything's built on physical, nothing, and we haven't progressed onto, which I think is a different beast in terms of we need, like, my wiser opinion is we need a mental health service outside the NHS.
Yeah.
That has
because the NHS is an incredible beast, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Yeah, this is the thing.
We've all been helped by the NHS, right?
Yeah, my mate of mine, Paul Phil, he's a fair play touch with. These little boy's doing really well now. And he had a brain tumour, Alfie boy, and he's come through it, and he's absolute rock, and he's absolute legend of a little lad. And what he's gone through into where he is now, positively as a 5-6 year old, incredible. But Phil rang me up from Manchester Children's Hospital up there. And he went, fuck me, Steve, see what I've just walked into this world. If you want to see where the money from the NHS has gone and how good it is, walk into this world. He said, it's like fucking Star Trek Enterprise for treatment. He's like, this unbelievable. I said, where are you standing? 'Cause he lives in Leeds. He said, we're in an apartment opposite it. It's all been laid on by the NHS. They're supporting us. And it was like, right, children, cancer, right, you're on the next banding now. We are looking after you. I lost my stomach, my large intestine removed. I had a bag for 2 years. I got built in, reapplied, that turned inside out a few times, and put back together by these magical people. And and then they're all golden. And our nurses work 12-hour shifts, working 4 or 5 days a week. Bonkers.
Oh, mate.
When and we've been there. We do 12-hour shifts, and you think, so you can do 12-hour shifts, and then only 11 and a half hours in, someone's going to come in a really big problem, and it's all down to you to help. And they're like, how can... But they do. Mate. People like that are just born to be nurses. There's like this category of, not breed isn't the right saying, but it's like a breed of human. What is that?
Care, innit?
Yeah, these absolute angels, saints, whatever you want to call them. Like, Because how I could have someone be arrogant to me and then me that goes, I'm here to help you, and they act, you just want to smack them in the face. But they just go, no, it's okay. See the good in everything, don't they? But
Yeah.
there we go. How long are we going?
1 hour 45.
Look at that.
Jesus.
Yeah. Anything not touched on?
Um, nah. We
Put the world to
we've
part two.
put the world to rights. Yeah. It's really interesting.
I've just seen he's got his HGV license out there. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, I've done some miles, but I just want to thank you, mate, for the effort that you're doing.
no, pleasure.
and the team. I think it's incredible, genuinely incredible.
No, thank you.
And it's inspiring.
You wouldn't have been invited in without putting a bit of effort in yourself. So,
Yeah, it's funny because when I first met you and we had that Teams call, I remember I was thinking at that point, like, this is all new to me. Like, I'm just a bloke going for a run, but
Yeah.
I'm so glad you didn't necessarily like invite me in at that point.
Yeah.
Because like since that point, I've learned more in the past year about the state of the industry and more about myself and more
Yeah.
about which I think is incredibly important, right? I've learned more about the state of the industry, like and what people are doing, and it's put me in such a better position. You know, I went on Jenny's podcast at Construction Health and Wellbeing.
yeah, I haven't need to speak to Jenny, actually. We always pop up. I see her pop up. I've never spoken to her before.
She's nice, really lovely.
Is she?
girl.
Yeah.
And I went on her
I will
podcast.
touch base with her. Yeah.
I put on her podcast. She's doing incredible stuff, to be fair, and I love her take on it. She's gone down the right route, right? She talks about health before safety, and absolutely, we should talk about health before safety.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we focus, and Luke mentioned it. We talk about safety first because it's physical, right? And when you're on site, you've got the risks, the physical risks, but
Yeah.
we don't do enough before we get there. Anyway, I went on Jenny's podcast, and at that point, mate, you know, and I listened back to my podcast. I don't think I knew enough.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew enough, but now, not like I knew everything.
Yeah.
But I know what to say now.
Yeah.
And it's given me more confidence. And maybe the last thing I would say is that you talked about you're going to speak to someone in South Korea, Anthony, which I think is incredible stuff. And one of the things that South Korea have done, which I think we need to do as a country away from construction, is we need to put legislation in place to support educating people at a young age into what support services are out there. Because I think this day and age, there is an element of everything is so easy to get now. You can get anything. We talked about Just Eat. You can get anything you want at the click of your hand. You can watch any video. You can get any advice at the click of your finger, on the click of your phone, whatever. And I think resilience is really hard. It isn't taught.
Yeah.
And I learnt resilience through going into the army and putting myself in position. The army put me in positions where I had to sink or swim, right? And you learn a lot about yourself in them environments. And I'm sure you guys have been in them situations where you've learned a lot about yourself. And when you learn about yourself, you know your limits and you know what you can and you cannot do.
I done that walk last week.
Yeah.
I was sick as a dog at 4 a.m. I was like, fuck.
It's crazy. And I think when you're in them positions, and them positions are when you're like, oh, what can I do here? Yeah, what I'm struggling, you learn what you can and can't do. And which means you almost become comfortable in them situations because you know that you'll get through it. Right. So I'm really strong on if someone says to me now, like, should I join the army? I'm like, absolutely. Like, not because I'm some loyal blimmin' green, you know, I don't bleed green, but it taught me who I am, and I learnt resilience that way, and I'm very comfortable in my own skin. So I feel like we need to do more education with people at a young age, especially at the ages of sort of 15, 16, 17, 18, and like maybe in uni as well, because we need to put people in positions where they know how to handle them.
All I've got at the moment is the Uber's late. I said the U word. Your Deliveroo's late because the driver's got a puncher on his moped, and that's like, oh my God, how am I going to focus? Anxiety through the roof, the panic, the struggle. How am I going to get my jacket potato in 5 minutes' time?
No, I drove through. I was in Kenya and I drove through a village in the middle of nowhere in Kenya, and these kids were running around with no clothes. Like, it was literally mud huts. It was sticks, and like they lived in like sticks and like plastic bags on these roofs, right? This is how poor these villages were, and the kids were running around smiling, laughing,
Happy
with no
that,
clothes, right? And then another situation when I was in Afghan, I was doing the base. I was in Afghan. I watched a family build a wall. So a dad and his son built a wall, and they built this wall with for 3 months, mate. Like literally mud. They
Yeah.
built this own little scaffold thing, like
On programme?
Just yeah. And what it was he would, so the dad would be at the top of the wall, like a mud wall, and he would had this system where he'd pull up the bucket of water, and he'd put the mud down, he'd put water over it, he'd shape it, and then he'd put the water back down to his son. His son would then run into the house, go in with a bucket, come back out, and then do it again. And it took months, mate. And to be fair, like you got a ground workers, like you would knock it up in half a day, like do you know what I mean, or a day or whatever.
Knock it down quicker.
And And I learned in them situations, and is any time something goes wrong, especially from a health and safety point of view, you see when someone like injures their finger or I don't know, like a recent one is a dog bit someone on site, whatever. It's not bad at all. He's fine. He looked fine. Is like, but in a corporate environment, honestly, people just lose their shit. And in them situations, I'm always like, first thing I think about is that kid in Kenya or that family in Afghan. Like, it's not bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad.
It's not. We're all going to move on. But Chris, cheers, pal.
Cheers,
there will be a round 2, I'm sure, along the way.
No, yeah.
But like I say, on the old, whatever you want to do again, phone's always on if you want to have a chat.
Oh, it's always
throw
there.
some ideas. I'm sure I'll have an opinion on it.
I do message you quite a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I'll do.
No, but keep it coming. No, it's
love
amazing. We're here. That's what we're here for. We're here to chew it and chew the fat and speak about it all. We all learn when we start transferring conversations, don't we? Pleasure,
definitely.
pal.
My man.
Thanks
Love
a million.
it.
Cheers for coming down. Safe travels back to Weston-super-Mare.
Cheers, brother.
Enjoy. Have some cider.
Never.